1, 2, 3, 4. What up, y'all? It's your boy Jermaine Babble on 5 podcast, episode 21. Don't have a name for it right now. Guess I'll name it after we're done here, ladies and gentlemen. After we're done here, I'll give her a name. Could just be a savage life. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're living in. We're living in the savage life. That's what I'd like to think. That's what I'd like to tell myself. That's what young 21-year-old Jermaine would say. I was saying to my wife, I was like, basically, if we have kids, that I will, either my kids or if I were to babysit my nephew Damien, I would show him, I would be like, let me show you what really happened on 9/11 before they try to lie to you. You know what I'm saying? I'd wake this young man up. I'd wake my children up before school systems could get to them. They go there as the African brother. Like, hold on, my brother. What's between them two pieces of bread? You know what I'm saying? They're going to be some woke kids going to school. Mixed kids with dreadlocks. You know what I'm talking about? Woke. Them kids going to be woke. You feel me? Maybe. It's like there's a line. Where's the line? You can't. I don't think you can logically. Maybe you can. Maybe we'll see. We'll see where these kids are. There are some pretty smart kids out there. Let's see where they are. Let's see at 5. Let's see how they're really picking up things. Maybe even before that. I'll be like, he's ready for the truth on 9/11. He's ready. He doesn't need us to sugarcoat anything. He's already picked up on Santa Claus. The jig is up. The jig is up. This is Babylon 5 podcast. If you want to go ahead, I think you guys should follow the podcast on Twitter. Follow the podcast on Instagram. The handle for that would be at Babylon 5 pod. If you want to go ahead and follow my personal accounts on Instagram and Twitter and even Facebook, that would be at My Name's Jermaine. You can email your boy. Email this podcast at babylon5podcast@gmail.com. You can follow. You should all, if you're listening to this podcast, go to Podbean if you haven't already and follow the podcast on there. It would mean so much to me if you did that. So, just go on to babylon5.pod. babylon5.podbean.com. And you can also listen to this podcast via Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much anywhere that podcasts play. Also, if you're playing Xbox and you want to play some games with me, add your boy at SauceBoss414. Yeah. What's up? How's your week? Yeah? Yeah. Oh, me? Me? I did a few things. I didn't do too much. The other day, I went and checked out, went to Red Schaefer MMA. I was kind of weird about it, only because, you just hear things, You hear things in the jiu-jitsu community that niggas look at you, ninjas around the world look at you like a traitor. You know what I'm saying? They look at you like a traitor, you gym-hopping whore. I'm a dirty gym-hopping whore. And that's all I'll ever be. But see, my lovely, lovely wife, she, for a gift, I was talking to her about this gym, and I'm like, this is the gym I'm going to go to. They got everything. It's right there. It's right down the street. It's not too far from us, so, it's 2 miles, but it's not that far. But it's like, I mean, the other gym I was going to was like, it's like a 10-minute walk. It was like literally blocks away from me. But, but Red Schaefer MMA offers everything, you know? You get your boxing training, your kickboxing training, you get some wrestling classes, you get everything you need. You get your jiu-jitsu. So I was just like, yeah, let me just go down there and see what these boys is talking about. Let me see what these boys talking about. And then my wife got me like a gift certificate for about 6 months of a membership there. So like, went down there, did I only went for one day. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I just did the one jiu-jitsu class, and I rediscovered that or maybe it never happened. Maybe I didn't have it before. Maybe I went in there with a new mindset. Shout out to Coach Courtney, because I just was like, yo, I haven't done it in a while, so I did the beginners introduction shit over there with her, and she was talking about like how we should just like focus on. Not necessarily don't focus on submissions. That's the one thing not to focus on. We're focusing on positions and control. And when I went in there with that mindset, I was like, damn, I got a nasty top mount. Nigga, I got nasty top control. Niggas could not get me off top. Niggas could not get me off top. I got a nasty top control, nigga. Yeah. I was like, damn. I was like, this is some nasty top control. Because I had the hooks in. Niggas just let you get the hooks in. I don't know why niggas wasn't trying to fight them hooks. Maybe they wasn't thinking about it. But it was like back in the day. I don't know, when I was doing jiu-jitsu at neutral ground, I was just picking up on it. Like, if niggas like do some shit to me and I just like, oh, that can happen now. I didn't know that was an option in jiu-jitsu. And now that I know it, I'm about to... And that's a part of my arsenal now. I'm about to try that on the next motherfucker. That's how it is. I'm like a sponge in there. So I always get those hooks in, and I get the underhooks. I go under their armpits and kind of lock my arms under theirs, and then I get my legs to lock under, I get my feet to lock. Yeah, I lock my legs under their legs. And I'm in top mount, and they just cannot get me off. They cannot get me off top control. Anywho, they can't get me off. I'm a beast. I'm a beast on top. Like, it's just how it is. Like, so I was just trying not to focus on submissions, and I was like, damn, I'm a beast with this top control. When I'm gonna go back to this week, and my focus here is to just like more so not just keep top control, but just control them in general, just to flow. I'm trying to stay calm, because it's too soon where I get in there with people that I know that I can already tell are a little more skilled than me, and at that point I'm trying to like throw Hail Marys in how I can get into a more advantageous position, because those more experienced jiu-jitsu practitioners, they can, they'll get their hooks in with their feet, while I'm just trying to figure out how I can even make a move. And they've like, once they've touched my body in any way, they're already like, I'm already like playing their game, is how that is. You got to do some jiu-jitsu to understand what I'm saying. But like, once they get first contact on me, I'm playing their game. And I need to remove that contact and get into a more advantageous position, is my game. And that's why that top mount, they couldn't get me off top mount. My goal there would to be just like tire them the fuck out. They frustrate them with trying to get out. They can't get me off top mount. Then boom, head and arm choke. Head and arm choke once they're tired. That's how that's going to go. But Red Schaefer was pretty dope. They had a House Lannister flag up there. And if you know your boy Jermaine Event, you know, I got House Lannister t-shirts. I got a House Lannister t-shirt up in here somewhere. I had a Tyrion barley wine that I was holding on, that I was going to drink if he died. He didn't die, the show ended, but so I drank it. You know what I'm saying? But I drank it before the last season. They didn't tell me that I had to wait a whole another year for this last season at the time when I bought it. I was like, what? I got to wait another year. And I was like, I had quit drinking like that. And then I was just like watching UFC one day and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to finish this. I'm just going to get this out of here because it's just going to be here forever. And, yeah, drank that shit. But, so, yeah, I was a Lannister nigga through and through. Tywin was definitely my favorite Game of Thrones character. So when I saw that Red Schaefer had the Lannister flag up there, I was like, yep, this is the right place. And it was good. It was some good practitioners in there that I was rolling with. Shout out to Coach Courtney. Before the jiu-jitsu class, there was a kids' jiu-jitsu class, and I watched belt ceremony. They gave this girl a new belt. And they were just talking about how she's just a beast in there. And I'm like, I want this so bad. These kids are so far advanced in just the ways of jiu-jitsu than I am right now. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's amazing right here, just to see this. And they had all the kids, like, they were like, do you guys see any reasons why she should get a new belt? And like all the people are saying like she's a really good teacher and a really good friend. This is like one of their classmates. So they're like all like just throwing out all these like great things about her. And then they gave her a brand new belt. I think she was like the highest belt in the class at that point. Which I was like, man, this is fucking dope. This is a dope ass environment to come into. So that's what I so I was like, yeah, I'll fuck with this. I'll fuck with this. You know what I'm saying? I'm still not trying to do them gi classes. That's like when you wear like the karate suit, if you will, for the layman. And I'm not into those gi classes. I'm trying to be the black Gordon Ryan. I'll be the black Gordon Ryan. And so if I'm gonna be the black Gordon Ryan and get my black belt without the gi, then I'm gonna be a no gi specialist. You know what I'm saying? So I figured on the gi days, they got boxing and kickboxing classes. I could just do some striking, learn how to, really lace niggas up. Because I ain't trying to do no gi classes. I ain't into all that, brother. But, I say that's the place to go. It's definitely going to be the spot that I'm at. I was weird about it before because it was another nigga in there that came from Neutral Ground too. But as I said before, man, niggas look at you like you a dirty gym hopping whore when you leave your gym and go for another gym. And they was I don't know. It's just I'm a dirty gym hopping whore. Maybe that's not gonna be the title. I've noticed that I can't put these videos on YouTube. I can't put these episodes on YouTube if I have a raunchy title. And I'm guessing dirty gym hopping whore will not make YouTube. Heroin addicted whites did not make YouTube. So if heroin addicted whites isn't gonna make YouTube, dirty gym hopping whore is not gonna make YouTube. Though I would love for that to be the title. Nah, but I fucked with that whole environment. The people I rolled with were pretty cool. I thought I didn't have my mouth guard, so I cut up my lip a little bit, not too much. But then I left and was like, oh shit, I had my mouth guard with me the whole time. I just didn't check that pocket. And I didn't check that coat pocket that I put it in. But yeah, I'm gonna be back this week fucking with them niggas. You know what I'm saying? I fucks with it. So the wife and I, we were watching this documentary, I Love You, Now Die, the Commonwealth versus Michelle Carter. Now, I want to say, this is the case, right, of the young man. He's 18-year-old. His name's Conrad Roy. He committed suicide in the parking lot of Big Kmart. All right? In a Big Kmart parking lot. And the police got his phone, and they turn his phone on, and they look at his text, and they see that his girlfriend had pretty much like demanded that he killed himself. I'm pretty sure you guys most likely have heard of this story. And so this story definitely I was put off by this story when it first came out, I don't think I read too much into it because I just thought it was pretty gross, I thought it was pretty gross in nature. This girlfriend convinced her boyfriend to kill himself. I thought it was pretty gross in nature, so I never looked into it. But my wife, we were hanging out yesterday, and she's like, "Hey, put on can you go to HBO?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go to HBO." She's like, "Can you go to documentaries?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then I just like hand her the remote. So I'm like, it seems like you know where you want to go. That was the one time, ladies and gentlemen, that I think my wife ever like wanted to make the decision of what we were watching. Usually she's against it. She avoids it. Is the plague. She avoids it like the plague. And I'm just like, you seem like you know what you want. So I just hand her the remote because she definitely knew what she wanted to see that time. So she put on this documentary that I probably would have just like ignored. It says it came out in 2019, and maybe I've seen it, and I just didn't want to watch it because I wasn't into the story. You know what I'm saying? When I saw it in the news, I just didn't care for it. But she put it on. And we watched it, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 2-part documentary. I Love You, Now Die. All right, let's see what it is. Okay, so here we go. So it's Michelle Carter. It's the Commonwealth versus Michelle Carter. All right, Michelle Carter was the girlfriend, 17-year-old girlfriend of Conrad Roy, and it was discovered through text message that she was like pretty much demanding that he kill himself. Her team's defense in this case was involuntary intoxication. You see, she was on antidepressants, and she's on antidepressants. There's a lot of working parts for this story. I didn't know the whole story, I just seen the headlines, and I was just like, yo, fuck that bitch. My whole body was like, fuck that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Conrad Roy, the young man who killed himself, the boyfriend, he was dealing with severe social anxiety and depression. And, it sounds a lot like me at that age. And as I've talked to you guys about before, I was pretty depressed at one point. And until I spoke to people, my peers, about it, and I found out that pretty much everybody else was either feeling the same or had felt the same for a long time, and they had gotten out of it. Somehow they switched up their routine, they got out of the loop, and yeah. But they knew exactly what I was talking about. They experienced it or were at that moment also experiencing it. But nobody talks about it, Nobody really talks about it. So when I saw that, I was like, damn, I definitely. He had all these video confessionals, diary or whatever, and it's I definitely see where young Conrad is coming from. I think the fact that not too many people talk about this to each other is why it's such a problem. If we all feel like this, it's this insane social anxiety. It's like suffocating at points. We gotta like really address this. This is I was just saying to my wife, it's my hormones. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was back in the day. That social anxiety. I think it happens like right around the time late teens when you start to feel it real heavy. I feel like for a lot of people, but it's just not addressed. Anywho, all right. So yeah. So I understood what this 18-year-old was, where he was coming from. He had multiple suicide attempts prior to the last. He had multiple suicide attempts. His parents apparently claimed they didn't know he was suicidal, even though he had multiple suicide attempts before he committed suicide. But once he committed suicide, they were like they had no idea that he felt this way. Even though he sent text messages to Michelle saying he was looking at a page of ways to kill himself, and his mom walked up and saw it and read it and just walked away. So this is in text message. But his parents are saying like, oh, I had no idea he was like this. But he says his mom walked up and read it in front of him and just walked away like she didn't see anything. Walked away like she didn't see anything. So there's a lot going on with this case, this story. It's pretty weird. The Michelle girl, her team, they very smartly, they waive her right to a jury trial. Because I feel like most people would have felt like me, like, fuck her, off top. There's no way she would have got off. There's no way you can get off. You can't win that trial. You have no chance is what I'm saying. If spoiler alert for all of this, you have no chance if you have a jury because we're all gonna run with our emotions. We're all gonna be like, fuck this bitch. She did this. Fuck her. She needs to go to jail for life. Is how we would have felt. We would have recommended life. That's what we would have did as a society. Is how I feel. So they waive the right to a jury trial, which means they plead their case to the judge and the judge makes the judgment. Which I don't know why a lot of people don't do that. If you can do that, why not always do that? You gonna leave your trial up to regular people that don't know the law? They don't know the law. You know who knows the law? The judge. The judge knows the law. Plead the law to the judge. I think that's your best bet. Rather than some regular ass niggas who probably slice meat for 8 hours a day that don't know the law. I'm not hating on niggas who slice meat. I'm saying if you do slice meat for 8 hours a day, chances are you don't know the law. I don't know the law. I don't slice meat for 8 hours a day. I could one of these days. Who knows? But what I'm saying is I don't know the law, and I could potentially be a jury on an important case. I don't know the law, and that should be very important to the people who are making those judgments, in my opinion. It's revealed through Michelle's trial that she had this eating disorder, and like she and Conrad were like on the same medications. And they were saying that because she had the eating disorder, like she basically had no food in her system, and so like the drugs would definitely affect her like a little more, like stronger than anybody, like other people because they're eating, but she wasn't eating, and yeah. So she was on those medications. She was cutting herself. She was taking all these antidepressants. She was always hitting up everybody she knew because she played softball. And she was always like hitting up her teammates, classmates, wanting to hang out, but no one ever wanted to hang out with her because she was pretty awkward in person. So like she basically had no friends. And but she would text everybody, just pretty much asking them to hang out with her. But then she would like talk about she just like feels bad and she's cut herself, and like just to like kind of get sympathy. You know what I'm saying? Is what it seemed like. And it was later revealed that Conrad was like talking to her about how he like sees the devil. Like they're both pretty fucked up individuals. The guy who killed himself, Conrad, is a pretty fucked up dude. He was like bullying her. Like it's revealed through the text message like relationship, because they never really like met up with each other. All right, they never really like met up with each other. Like their whole relationship was basically through text message, and they like. But he was like really mean to her a lot, like through these text messages like that they posted throughout the documentary. He's kind of bullying her, and he would constantly talk like threaten to like kill himself and all this, and like it was just like he was like bullying her, and this is a pretty weird case, and he starts talking to her about how he sees the devil. She says she sees him too, and that they're both destined for hell. And it's like, yeah, it's shown they never really met up. It's all through text. It's her defense. So, oh shit. I'm sorry. I'm just getting lost in these notes here, ladies and gentlemen. Getting lost in the notes. Oh yeah. So her defense is that through the involuntary intoxication, right? Through him like threatening, well, just like constant with this threats of killing himself, and she's so panicked by it, she like switches to like trying to help him so he isn't, because like after the one time before the successful attempt, his mom was like saying like, yo, you'd kill me, like I'd want to kill myself if you kill yourself. And he was saying like he didn't know how he could do this and like not hurt his family, so she wanted to like help him like do it. So and then she like promised that she would like go see his family and help them out like after he's gone, and which she did. She started spending time with his sister and his mom and all them, hanging out with them, like was looking after his family after he was gone. She actually was doing these things that she told him she'd do. So she was just like, apparently for their case, encouraging him, like trying to be a good girlfriend is their defense. But it was also revealed that prior to Michelle dating or even meeting Conrad, she claimed that she was dating this other girl from her softball team, and they were like secretly in a relationship, but the other girl's mom forced them to stop seeing each other. And the documentary guys went to go interview the other girl, and the other girl like and their mom like said off camera they just wanted to meet and tell them that that this relationship is completely fictitious, nothing physical ever happened. Like this whole story is just made up for like pretty much sympathy. Like she's a sociopath. They're saying like, so she made up this whole story. It's all through these text messages that she would text her friend about how she was in love with this girl and like blah, blah, blah. Like it was apparently just made up for sympathy. But her defense is that she was on all these drugs and not eating and involuntarily intoxicated. And they're saying that the side effects of the drugs that they were on were like psychosis and depression. And these guys are talking about in text messages how they're talking to each other about how they're talking to the devil. So this is their case, their case is that Conrad, because of all the attempts before she even was trying to encourage him, that they can't say that she is the cause of it because he had made so many attempts beforehand, and that you can't say that he wouldn't have done it without her being there, was her defense. And also in the state of Missouri, her convincing someone or even trying to assist someone in doing that is apparently not illegal in 11 states in America, and Missouri is one of them. So a part of her defense is that They're charging her for a crime she never even committed in the state of Missouri. It's literally not a crime for her to do what she did there. And they pointed out, like, it's not a crime in 11 states. So that just happens to be, that should be the main case to, like, have them dismiss the case. But the judge chose not to dismiss the case. After Conrad killed himself, before they found out everything that happened, she put on a charity baseball tournament in his honor, but she did it in her own hometown, and his family, like, contacted her. It was like, hey, why don't you do it in his hometown so all his friends and family can go? And she's like, haha, this is, like, my hometown, and, like, you're not going to take credit for what I'm doing. Like, she just kept saying, you're not trying to steal credit. Like, that was the one thing she was trying to, like, make sure is nobody was trying to get the credit for putting this together. And but she would not be wavered. She had the thing in her hometown. Everybody she knew came, and everybody said she was just like that. It was the happiest that anybody had ever seen her. She was just taking pictures with everybody and just smiles, big smile the whole time, just like super happy, and which is pretty weird. It's all pretty weird. It's pretty weird. And also, it was also discovered that, 2 days before Conrad committed suicide, she did a dry run with her friends by texting them all saying that Conrad had disappeared, and she was afraid something was happening, was going to happen, and just to see how they reacted, and they all were, like, real concerned and taking interest in her. And then 2 days later, she's like, you have to do it. And, yeah, so that's the Commonwealth's case, is, like, she did this dry run 2 days before, and then she got the results she wanted. And then in response, she's, like, encouraging this dude a lot, like, you have to do it now, do it. And, yeah. And that's not a crime in the state of Missouri. But the judge does not dismiss the case. Michelle is found guilty. The judge finds Michelle guilty for involuntary manslaughter, and says that because Conrad, it was carbon monoxide poisoning. He put something like a generator in his car. I don't know what happened. Something. And, suffocated. And apparently at one point he was suffocating and he got out of the car and then called Michelle. And then she said, you better get back in the fucking car. And he listened to her and got back in the car. So the judge says at that point, he says everything up until that point was him committing suicide, but then when he got out and called her and she demanded that he got back in the car, he considered that involuntary manslaughter. And after it was all said and done, she was given 2.5 years, 15 months served, and the rest suspended. Which I think, she 15 months served, the rest suspended. Let's see, what's her release date? When will she get out of prison? My wife said it's pretty soon. Her release date is March 13th. Yeah, her release, she's coming out of here in 2 months. Lady will be here in 2 months. It's the 12th today. You're going to get this on the 13th. And, yeah, she'll be here in 2 months. To give you niggas some interviews on her takes on all that shit. Maybe you shouldn't give her the interviews. That seems exactly like the kind of shit that she wanted, to be a star after this shit. That's my opinion on it. Well, so I say I didn't really, going into it, I was pretty disgusted on it all, And coming out of it, I'm, like, even more disgusted with both sides, man. They're both creepy individuals. I said they didn't need each other. They needed help from others. They needed some help, but not from each other. They were both too far gone and both on the same medications with the same side effects, and they're talking about talking to the devil and all this kinds of shit. So I felt like, they needed other people. They weren't good for each other. And that was the real problem there. I don't know, man. It's a weird, real weird situation. But I don't think they should. I think they should just like nobody interview her. That's my, that's my hope, man. Because like if she becomes a celebrity off of this, which she probably could, like sell the movie rights and shit. She probably got paid off this documentary. She probably gonna come home to a nice little check. I guarantee it. Guarantee it, because she's seen. When I looked up the documentary, she was seen as like one of the cast members. Has to be. She's getting paid for this, so she gonna come out to a nice little meal, probably like nice little $1 million from the HBO. You got a little documentary on HBO. Now it's buzzing, and you about to come home. They about to she about to get paid. That's pretty whack. I don't know. It's pretty whack. She seems like a pretty fucked up individual. He seems like a pretty fucked up individual. I just wish he could have sought help elsewhere and not in her. So let's move on to The Circle. The wife and I was watching The Circle. New episodes came out. A spoiler alert for all this. We finna go in. Niggas finna go in. Random pet peeve I want to tell you niggas about is niggas be like, got a blue check. Even on Twitter, niggas be talking about blue check. Niggas not a blue check. I don't know, maybe you on Twitter. I don't know, I haven't been on Twitter in a little bit. But blue check on here, it's not a blue check. It's a white check and a blue bubble. Shut the fuck up. I'm just a random ass nigga and I like to complain about everything and that thing just bothers me. So shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, nigga. Nigga, shut the fuck up. Anywho, they got this new nigga on there. Corny ass nigga name. I think his fake name is Adam. He's pretending to be another person, another guy, a white dude. He's pretending to be a white dude, like he pretending to be a guy that looks like another dude that later comes on to the show. Actually, they look like the same person. It's like somebody stole that guy's pictures and then randomly also cast him onto the show. So that's random, but he's a douchebag. He's a real douchebag. Has no social skills. Super corny. Nigga, use the word romp. I use that word when I be joking around with my wife. Be like, hey, let's go for a romp. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, don't say that. And this nigga was like trying to flirt with one of the girls on there and used the word romp. And they was just like, what the fuck? And it's just like, bro, this nigga's corny. He's some nerdy ass nigga. And he was trying to pretend like he was this like athletic sports motherfucker. I don't know. What is his job? I don't know. I don't know how to describe this nigga, but it was not this nigga. Not this corny ass nigga. And I don't see how they don't see through that shit right away. Like the personalities don't match at all. Black dude pretending to be his girlfriend continues to be obvious. He got in a group chat with the girls. They're all talking about their periods. And he's like, oh yeah, I get it where just my whole left side hurts. Like just only my left side hurts. And everybody was like, what? I've never heard of that. Like he'll get in here and it'll be like just instances where he'll say some dumb shit for no reason. He'll just say some shit and they'll be like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And nobody's like, yo, that's clearly a catfish. Clearly that's a catfish. This person doesn't know anything about what they're talking about. They're saying some real weird shit. For whatever, that person keeps getting ranked pretty high up in the rankings there for whatever reason. They trust that person who seems to me very shady. Even, like, I can see clearly that it's a catfish, but I see even in the conversations, she comes off shady. Like, you're not pulling off that you're that you're this person. You're bringing into question your identity, it feels like, every time you talk, and nobody's like, hey, what's going on with this girl? That's what's weird to me. You bring in the fact that your identity pretty much comes into question anytime you speak should really point out the fact that you're a catfish. Yeah. They cut one catfish after explaining why keeping her. Yeah. Because there's this one girl that everybody hated named Miranda. No. Before Miranda, they cut this girl, Mercedes. And they were talking about how everybody assumed Mercedes was a catfish, which she was. She was a catfish. But they was talking about how they should keep her because everybody thinks she's a catfish. So that way, when they do the rankings, she's automatically going to get ranked at the bottom every time. That was their strategy. And then they go ahead and delete her anyway. And she was indeed a catfish. So, like, brava, if that's the point of what you're trying to do. If you're trying to just simply get rid of the catfish, brava. And so they deleted her. And then she went and saw the nigga Chris. Yeah, that happened. So, yup, that was dumb. You should have kept her because she would have been the hate magnet. Because your point is you get the ranks. If you guys aren't watching the show, you get the ranking systems. Every time the people rank all the people on the show, everybody else in the game from 1 to 7 or 8, depending on. So now they've added more players. At first it was just 8 players. I think now there's like 9. One guy just got brought on. He brought his mom with him. I'm like, why is there 2 people in there? Why is there 2 people in this one? But some shit is happening. It's fucking weird. Why is this guy on there with his mom? Yeah, it's some weird shit happening. So you get to cut the people. So, you get to rank the people before you cut them, and from 1 to 7, and then they reveal the rankings, and then whoever are the top 2 become influencers, and then those 2 decide who they want to cut, whoever the top 2 people are. So just all these conversations, it's just from there. It's like who seems fake, who seems real, and then they rank them based off of how their relationships in the game. And yeah, it's just from when my wife pointed out that they were saying that when the one girl Miranda got cut and she went and saw the guy, she was like, I'm sure you're going to be the one to win the $100,000. So I thought whoever was the remaining group was going to win the $100,000, but apparently at the end of the game, only one person is going to win $100,000. So that makes the game a little more interesting if it comes down to that. And then it's like, yo, if you're cutting because there's a lot of real people that they cut because they thought they were catfish. And it's like if you cut them for that reason, it's like that's foul. They could have won $100,000. They was really them. That is really them. Y'all cut them and left all these fake ass people here. But no, it's a new set of episodes coming out this week. It'll be the finale. You'll see who wins the $100,000. Pretty interested in that. I'll give you guys an update on that when it comes. I really hate the narrator they got on this show. I wish she'd shut the fuck up. We don't need that narrator. If I wanted anybody, I don't know. I don't really want anybody to win cash. I don't root for people to win cash. I feel like Shabam, only because the nigga went to UCLA, he graduated from UCLA, I feel like he doesn't need to win this $100,000. That's kind of where I feel. Otherwise, I would want him to win the $100,000. But the fact that he graduated from UCLA tells me he doesn't necessarily need this $100,000. That's where I am at. I feel like the only nigga that really maybe could use the $100,000 would maybe the nigga Chris, maybe the nigga Joey. And I say, Rebecca is a catfish, but he's pretending to be his girlfriend on there, and they look like they could use the 100 G's. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know why they just added more contestants and they're just making it more confusing. And then given the fact that the last episode of the season is supposed to be, they're giving it to us next week, and I think it's 4 more new episodes. It's going to be the end of the season. So why did you add more players to the game, for no reason? Just to have them there for an extra day or two. before you decide which one person in the house wins the $100,000. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. One, that if the season is going to be this short, if the season is, because it was like 1 week it came out New Year's Day apparently, and then it was like 4 episodes or whatever. Then the week later or whenever, and then they gave you 4 more episodes, and now we're about to get 4 more episodes, and then I'll give you the end of the season. So you eliminated people, then brought a new contestant right back on. Then you eliminate another person, and then instantly bring a new contestant on. Then you eliminate another contestant and bring 2 more contestants on, only to get to a very quick point where one person, like, why are you adding more of these people randomly? Like, how, I don't understand how they're going to decide who wins the $100,000. Is it whoever could have been there the longest? That wouldn't make any sense. That wouldn't make any sense at all. Like, what are you judging this? What are you basing this off of? Who gets the $100,000? I'm real curious about that. I got to look more into that. I mean, I guess we'll see when next week we'll have the finale. I'll be able to tell you guys who wins it all. Yeah. But it just doesn't really make any sense to me how they're going to decide who wins the $100,000, and the fact that they keep adding more and more people to this game. It's like, what are you basing the finale off of? Why did you add these random people? What the fuck is going on here? But I don't know. We'll see how it ends next week, and I'll let you guys know about that one. So I went to the studio, ladies and gentlemen. Went to Silver City Studio. I thought it was funny because I walk in, and when I was about to walk into the studio, the booth, right on his speaker was his studio monitor was a Sean Smart album sticker. His last album, Sean Smart's last album. And I thought that was pretty funny. And he said he got the speaker from somebody else. He said he didn't know who that was. He didn't get the speaker, but the other person who owns the studio got the speaker from someone else. But he personally, Andrew, did not know who Sean was. He just, that sticker just so happened to be there. Which I was like, shit, that's hilarious. Just because, if I used to be a part of Higher Education Records, and Sean Smart was the co-owner of Higher Education Records. He used to be. He's no longer affiliated with Higher Education Records. But it's just so fun. It's funny that when I'm going to record new music, I come in and right on the speaker is a sticker of Sean Smart. I was like, that's hilarious. Here we go. But no, it was a pretty cool session that I had with Andrew. I was breezing through these songs. I guess I've been working on them myself for a year, or trying to. So I didn't really need to read them off or anything. So I recorded most of the album in the first 3 hours. I just ran through 6 tracks, and or what was it? No, because I was only planning to record 3 more songs, and that would have been 11. So yeah, I recorded 8 tracks in the first 3 hours. Just ran through them, and I was like, damn, we're gonna see. And then I had some beats from Regal, some stems from Regal that he hadn't sent me yet, and I was like, yo, this one, you sent me the wrong one. And he was like, oh, what did the beat sound like again? And I sent it to him, and he told me he named it a different beat, and he's got to find it. So maybe he doesn't have it anymore. Maybe that was actually accidentally resold to somebody. And if that's the case, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I can get a new beat, new inspiration for the album. Because I'm trying to, my plan is to go back to the studio in a month from now and re-record new things, and then maybe touch up on some things if I'm feeling different about them in a month from now. But the vibe of the studio is pretty dope. It's pretty, really like the sound of the microphone and everything. I trust, I got the recommendation from the homie Diamato, and I trust him. I love his sound. He recorded his album at my house in Madison Love his music, love his sound. He's just a great, positive person all the time. Andrew was telling me about how D'Amato threw a birthday party for his dog, and he wrote like 5 songs about his dog and would like perform them live for his dog, and it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing stuff. He's just an amazing individual. I fucks with D'Amato super hard. So once he gave me the recommendation, I wasn't gonna go to High Five Studio, but I ran into D'Amato at is it Crossroads Collective, or I think it's Crossroads Collective, whatever that place is with the pie place. I was going to get pie. Me and my wife were gonna go get pie at that place on North Ave, and saw D'Amato there. And he was like, oh, I was like, yeah, I'm about to go record some new music at High Five. Yeah, at High Five. And he was like, oh, I know about this place, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, all right, say no more. It's the only recommendation I need is my nigga Babble. Boba Babble. No, just once D'Amato said it, I was like, yeah, I'm sold. Say no more. Cause you a real nigga. From a real nigga to a real nigga, you a real nigga. So, yeah, I went there, did it. But I was going to go back yesterday, but I didn't get all the stems, as I was saying, from Regal. And maybe if that song is no longer available, that's fine. I just, at that point, this is my mindset. When I go back in a month, if that's available, because I haven't booked the time yet. When I go back in a month, hopefully, if I have the beat, and I will record the song. If I don't have the beat at that point, then it's not making the album. That's just it. Then it's just not making the album. I'm not going to wait any longer to get this project done. I've been kind of dicking around with it for way too long. I'm ready to get on with my life, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ready to get on with my life. I want to start, working on some new things. I want to work with Nate, maybe get some new beats from Regal. I want to work with everybody, actually, man. I'm not hating, but and I want to focus on producing myself. I want to do a project for myself. It's not too hard. I got this drum machine here that it's collecting dust, man. It's collecting dust, man. But man, when I start fucking with it, every time I pick it up, it's like, oh shit, why don't I do this every day? And then a month will go by, and I'll be like, fuck, I haven't fucked with this Atom in a little bit. It's collecting dust, man. It's collecting dust. Gold dust. Yeah, but so hopefully in a month I'll be there with Andrew. Hopefully I have the stem for rolling. If I don't, then it's just not making the album. It's just not gonna make the album I'm gonna record. And also I had an old, outdated verse that I was like, I started off the verse, so I know you see it, like chocolate mama, won't you throw it back? I was like, well, so I put the beat on, and I was going over in my head, I was like, This is not what we finna do today. This is not what we finna do today, young man. You is not finna throw out all these Young Jock references. The verse, it gets better, but I was like, no, I'm gonna just rewrite this whole thing. I think that was pretty much, I'm certain that's the first song I wrote for this project, because there was a song called Sanaa. And I know when I wrote that song, I was on my all black move to Atlanta movement. You know what I'm saying? All black everything. I'm finna go to Atlanta type deal. That's what I was on at the time. So I know when I wrote Sanaa, that was the first song for me getting back into the swing of things. And I'm gonna rewrite that verse. I'm gonna rewrite the verse pretty soon here. And I'm gonna go back in a month. I'm probably gonna rewrite it tomorrow. Or maybe today, maybe right after I record this. I'm going to clean the bathroom and then I'm going to do some things. But, yeah. So, that verse was pretty outdated. The other song I'm recording is a song called Trifecta. I don't know. I was feeling pretty self-conscious. It's like when I say vulgar language, I was feeling pretty self-conscious about it. I don't know. There's songs like Get It Too where people really like those songs, but when I hear them back, I cringe, you know? I just cringe. So like songs with like I write them and they'll have these vulgar lyrics because it's just like how it flows, and I just don't know if that's how I want to represent myself, but we'll see. Maybe it'll get a rewrite, or maybe I'll just record it and make a game time decision on if it makes the album or not, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll be back in a month. And if you guys want to follow the podcast on Twitter or Instagram, that's at Babylon5Pod. If you want to follow my personal accounts, you can follow me at My Name's Jermaine. You can email the podcast at Babylon5podcast at gmail.com. Yeah, I was right. Babylon5podcast at gmail.com. You can follow the podcast, everybody. If you've enjoyed this episode, go to babylon5.podbean.com and follow the podcast. You can listen to the podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Music, and pretty much anywhere podcasts play. Also, if you would like to play some 2K with your boy on Xbox, go ahead and add me. My gamer tag is SauceBoss414. This is episode 21, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever I was saying earlier, what was I saying there? Damn, I forget what I was saying earlier. A gym changing haul. Gym switching haul. What was that? Something like that. I want that to be the episode name, but it can't. I should name it something like that. Like, I want it to be the episode name, but it can't. Kind of similar to how Panic at the Disco used to name the songs. Like, our lawyer made us change the name of this song so we wouldn't get sued type shit. Yeah. But that's it for the week. Thank you all for chilling with me. This is episode 21. I am Jermaine Event. You are my loyal fans. Thank you guys for being here. I love you guys so much. Have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Peace.